before this one, everything is the same except for the link, and it just disappeared on me. My life disappeared, literally. I don't know what happened. I was busy sharing the link and it's gone. Anyway, if you were on that one or if you saw the ad of that one, whatever the case may be, I'm so glad that you managed to connect to this one on here. I don't want to be frustrated now. It's amazing how the enemy can want to frustrate you and attack you, because what I have to share with you today is far from frustration. And now it's like the enemy wants me to be stressed out so that I come on here now stressed out and stuff like that. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for locating this video. Thank you for clicking on the video so that we can come and chill here. I'm here to hang out with you as a sister, as a friend. My name is Precious if you are here for the first time. I'm the heart behind God and Broken Pieces. God and Broken Pieces is a vision that God has given me to share his heart concerning the broken pieces that people are dealing with and the broken world we are living in today, and how he desires to have all of us checked into the potter's house so that he can put us together again. There's this song that I used to love so much and I still love it. Somehow it forms part of the songs that clearly define the vision of God and Broken Pieces. And that song is The Potter's House. Let me search it quickly. I think it's The Potter's Touch. Is it The Potter's House? Let me see. I think The Potter's Touch is something else. Yeah, it's The Potter's House. The Potter's House. Yep. The Potter's House by Tremaine Hawkins. Tremaine Hawkins. I really highly recommend it. I'll link it for you. This is not an ad. You know when you have been blessed by something, every time I'm blessed by something, I'll share it with you, especially if it has relevance to what we are doing, right? What we are here for. Excuse me. One of the things I'd like to share with you at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, is that I'm wearing the earrings from Bokoni's Creations. These are handmade. They were made by a 14-year-old from her own creativity. Nobody in this whole world has these earrings except for me. And you, if you decide to hook yourself up with them, you can have yourself a pair. So I suggest that immediately after the video, you would click on the link in the description that is clearly described as the earrings link. Go to her shop and go and shop the earrings and they will be delivered to you. You can even buy them for your loved ones. If you are a man and you are watching this, it's relevant to you as well, this information that I am sharing. There is so much there that you will get. The Christmas edition, a lot, okay? Let me not spoil it for you. Go over to Bukonis Creation store and see what you can find for yourself and your loved one. And even if you're a lady, I mean, you can always buy for your mom, for your friends, for your loved one, for whoever you desire to share this uniqueness with, whoever you desire to have an African taste on their face, in their look, okay? There is a lot, so you will find it there. But yeah, people of God, I'm here to hang out with you today. You are darlings of God. Can I call you that today? God's darlings. God is crazy about you. He loves you so much. That's why you are still here. That's why, irrespective of how 2023 was for you, I'd like to hear how 2023 has been for you. How has it been treating you? What are some of the things that you were able to achieve? What are some of the things that you are still aiming to achieve? What are you still believing God for? The year is coming to an end, but the year is not over. It's not over until God says so. And anyway, God's timing is not our own timing. He doesn't work on these years, and He works with seasons that are determined by Him. However, my mentor said a new season is proclaimed. So I'd like to extend it to you as well, that this is a new season. You don't have to wait for the new year in order for you to be in a new season. You can decide now that this is your new season, and because it's your new season, the year, according to the world's time, is going to end different for you because this is a new season. I appreciate how when you walk with God, He does things with you at His own timing. He doesn't have to wait for anything or anybody, really. He doesn't need to conform to the standards that we have set. He doesn't need to conform to the timings that we have set, sometimes the timings that we give Him. I remember when I gave Him the age and like, Lord, I think at that time I was probably 24 or 25. And I thought, if I'm 25, it might take 2 years to get to know somebody. Right now, I'm not even seeing anyone. So, Lord, hear me and hear me well. By 27, I need to be married. That was me giving God timing. And someone could have said this and it could have happened for them. All in good and well. For me, it wasn't the case. God still needed to do a lot in me, so that in as much as I have a list in saying I want this and this and this and this and this, at that time did I have a list? I think shortly after that I wrote a list and I presented it before the Lord, and He thought, okay girl, if you are going to have a list, you also need to meet the description of somebody's list. So we need to work on you. We need to work on you. And that's exactly what God did. He began to do the work from inside. And here I was, I gave God, I'm like, listen, at this time I need to be married, okay? I don't know how you're gonna do it, but at least I'm giving you 2 years. So between now and 2 years, you need to have cooked up something. Make sure that I have met the person. I think 2 years is enough time for us to get to know each other. So yeah, make it happen. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, I learned very quickly that the timing of the Lord do not go according to our own timing. In as much as He is the author of time, He is not conformed to that. He does things in His own ways, at His own time, however He desires, okay? And I was humbled that I presented a list before the Lord, and the Lord said, you are giving me a list. Girl, you need to also become what somebody has put on their list. Let's work on you. Let's work on you first. And He started the work. We still had a lot to do. I'm thinking from that time until now, honestly, I am so thankful that things didn't go the way that I wanted in some areas of my life. In fact, I have gotten to a point where I am embracing things that didn't go the way I wanted or the way I thought they would, perhaps in all areas of my life. Because when I read the word, I realize that all things work together for good. In cases where the enemy stole from me, my heart was bleeding. And then God comes with comfort and He says, listen, whatever it is that the enemy has stolen, I can be able to restore it. And I'm like, Lord, can you bring back my time? What about that 10 years? There is a 10 years, there is a decade I was crying about. I said, Lord, I'm crying for this decade because I did everything that I thought I'm supposed to do, but it doesn't seem like it was aligned with your plan. And here I am. I have nothing to show for the efforts I have put. And it wasn't a waste at all. It wasn't all a waste. And guess what He says? He says, yeah, I understand that, but guess what? I can restore time. And I was watching this video that I was praying, rather, the other day during that time when I was crying for the 10 years. And in my prayer, I heard the word restorer. And I heard Him clearly say, go to YouTube and search restorer. I go to YouTube, I search restorer. Okay, the first the first result that came up was a song that was like 5 minutes. I clicked on it and I didn't feel it. It wasn't, I'm sorry to the singer, the artist, no offense intended, but it didn't go along with the atmosphere and it didn't move me. Then I saw the second video was about 30 minutes or so or less, but rounded off. I clicked on that video. Lo and behold, the first thing the lady says in the video, she says, "I'm hearing the word restorer." I'm like, what? What the Holy Spirit is this? Oh my goodness. The things that that lady said. Let me write down, because often I say I'm going to link this in the description, I'm going to link this in the description, and then the next thing I get off the live and I don't remember everything I said I'm going to link for you. I'm going to link that for you in the description. The song it's a song, and it's also a ministry. She's ministering while she's singing a one song that lasts 30 minutes. Phew, what God did for me there. One of the things that she highlighted is that when God restores, and I hope you're listening and listening very well, in relation to areas in your life where you feel like you are left behind, areas in your life where you feel like you wish you could be much farther than you are now, areas in your life where you feel like the enemy has stolen from you, areas in your life where you invested time and effort and resources, money and intention and support and whatever it is that you would have invested, and somehow things you didn't get the return that was at least a break even, equal to the effort, let alone a return. Okay, if you are experiencing such, you need to hear this video. I'm gonna link it for you. Let me quickly note down what I have to put for you in the. Her name is T.Y. Bello. Perhaps you know her, T.Y. Bello. And one of the things that she said is that when God restores, he puts you, if you were supposed to be at point B 10 years later, and somehow in your journey you veered off, you started at A and you came all right, and somehow halfway through you veered off out of his plan for your life, and you meant well. There are shiny objects that came and took your focus away from the Lord. She says when God restores, he puts you where he doesn't just put you back on your path, whereby he can say, okay, since you veered off, let's get you back on track. He doesn't just do that. He puts you back on track, and he puts you exactly where, pin drop, he puts you exactly where you were supposed to be if you had not lost your way, if you didn't have that time stolen from you. So an example is, if you were supposed to be a philanthropist by now, a really impactful and influential, you can be a philanthropist with what you have right now. But I'm talking about the one that you desire to be. If you are supposed to be a multimillionaire in US dollars, if you are supposed to be married with children, if you are supposed to be a CEO, if you, whatever it is that you missed in your journey, what the Lord does is he speeds up the process. He does things quickly, almost like he is intentional about catching you up. A sign of restoration is when you see speed in your life. And this I heard from my mentor as well. This talking about speed in such a way that in 3 years, he can do what you could not do in 10 years or in 13 years or whatever the case may be. I've heard so many testimonies of people who struggled to conceive for years. And when they do, God gives them triplets, God gives them twins. Okay? I've heard testimonies of people who waited for God for marriage for so long, and when the time comes, God does it in a few months, God does it in a week. I've had a testimony where where somebody got married in a week. I had a testimony recently where somebody got married in 24 hours, literally in a day. So when God restores, those are the things that you are going to see. Now, that will be God getting back at the enemy. And we can also see in Job's life what happened there. That even though what happened was ordered by the Lord, when it was time for restoration, he gave him even more and he experienced more than he had before in terms of joy, in terms of assets, in terms of health, in terms of all of that. Okay, so it's not all the time that whatever it is that happened to you was because you made a wrong decision. It could be that it was ordered by the Lord for whatever reason that is known to him, that he didn't even really explain to Job in those words. Even when Job was questioning, God was like, listen, Job, your life is mine. What makes you think you can ask me, what am I doing with your life? Okay, where were you when I was making everything that you can't even reach? When I was making the stars, you don't even know the size of the stars. Where were you when I was creating everything, filling the oceans with water? Job, okay? And God was saying it in a sense that he knows what he is doing, even in your life when it comes to that area. So that was just me sharing a part of my life where I'm being open and transparent about how God is able to turn your life around, how he is able to give you perspective, how he is able to get you to be aligned with what he's doing in your life. Remember, we were still talking about 2023. Okay, I see you are here. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, whoever you are welcome to comment. Let me know how 2023 was for you. For me to get here where I'm talking about God restoring time that we can feel like we have lost, it's in relation to what I opened with to say, how has 2023 been for you? I'm just feeling a bubble of joy. I don't know if that is in relation to you. Perhaps that's what you are feeling now. A bubble of joy and hope concerning the remainder of the year. The year is not over. It is far from over, because how many days are still left? We are on the 22nd today. There are still 8 days combined with the 31 days. So we have just below 40 days, right? Left. God can do a lot in one day. So 40. Expect that things can still happen this year still. And what I mean by that is God is not confined to our own timeline and time zones that rule us and run us for the sake of order. He did say that the time is there to certain seasons. It's the seasons of time, not necessarily the seasons of life. The new season, you can proclaim it now in your life. And a new season can begin for you today in such a way that by the time the year ends, you would have seen the results of your new season now. By the time the year ends, you would have been in your new season already. You don't have to wait for the new year to come. Because really, if you think about it, what's the difference between the previous year and the new year? As we are in 2023 now, when 2024 comes, the difference is going to be a second, because one moment you were in 2023, the next you are in 2024, and nothing has changed except that the clock went over midnight. It doesn't mean that things are going to be automatic. That's why we don't have to wait then to set goals. Right now, we can maximize this year. We don't have to relax so much. Everything has a time, especially if, people who can relax, who can afford to relax right now. I mean no offense or anything, are people who have been working throughout the year and it's time for them to take some time off. People who can relax right now are people who probably planned beforehand. I'm not saying God cannot change. I saw God take us on holiday in 1 week. We had nothing planned the whole week, the whole year. And in 1 week, he put together a holiday for us and we were gone. If that happens for you, let it find you on your journey doing something, maximize, still wanting to maximize the year. In 2021, he afforded us a holiday in December because we believed him, because we asked for it in December, because we had been working anyway. So if for some reason in this year you didn't get to see the results that you want to see, don't get caught up in the holiday spirit so much that you get lost in the crowds and in what everyone is doing. We are not all in the same season. Some are in the reward season. And indeed, they need to go on that holiday. They need to go and celebrate. And I'm not saying don't take a day or two like Christmas Day and whatever and enjoy with your family. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people have a tendency of switching off. When it's this time of the year, they just say, oh, hey, the year has been long. And they just kind of like, hey, tools down, we are done. And then January comes, we didn't set things in motion. Guess what's going to happen for those who are setting things in motion now, right? Those who are proclaiming their new season now and they are starting to set things. By the time January comes, you will be in momentum in such a way that you have set yourself up for success, while others will still be fetching the vision boards and trying to do the resolutions that I hope they stick to. Let me not speak negativity, okay? I hope they stick to them. You would be on the roll, men or women of God. You will be on the roll. Your vision will be clear. Your actions of execution will be clear. And you will be excited about the new year. You won't have anxiety because the new year can also come with anxiety. I'm not talking about the new season, I'm talking about the new year. So, the new year, according to the human time, it will find you in your new season. And in this new season, we are experiencing a turnaround in our lives. The outcomes that we have seen in the past, they are not going with us in the new season. That's not what we are going to see. The broken pieces in our lives, we are checking them into the potter's house. He is going to put them together again for us so that we can be able to move on whole. We have been limping for too long. You know, when you are limping, you can only go so far. There was a time in my life where I looked at my life and I was like, hey, Lord, I feel like I'm crippled. It doesn't look like that when people are looking at me. But I know that there are things on the inside of me. I'm crippled internally. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to function in the way that I'm supposed to. Help me. You know, that's what God and Broken Pieces is about. When I always say that God is in the midst, He is in the midst of brokenness. He is in the midst. He is there, right there in the mess. Okay? When I'm talking about that, that's what I mean. That's what this word means, this sentence mean. How many words? The 4-word sentence. God and broken pieces. It means God is in the midst. And when the moment God steps into situations that are broken, those situations can never remain broken. That's how God was able to overcome depression for me once and for all. Okay, I was on depression medication in 2014 and 15. Yeah, somewhere there, 14 and 15. And what happened is my sister-in-law, my brother and my sister-in-law, my brother and his wife came to visit me. My sister-in-law is a nurse. So when they came to visit me, she was aware previously because I visited them and she saw me taking my depression pills. So when when they came to visit me, she asked me, "Are you still on depression medication?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You know that's not God's will for your life." Just that word. She didn't make a sermon about it. And it was nice. You know, we played. It was on a Sunday. I played music for them. I cooked for them. It was so, so nice to have them visit me and my daughter at the time. And before they left, when it was time for them to leave, before they left, she said, "Let's pray before we go." And I didn't even have to pray. So they prayed. My brother and his wife prayed for us. A simple prayer, guys. I realize that there is nothing as such as a simple prayer. Why? Because a prayer can be so eloquent and it doesn't really move God. Because what moves God is not eloquence, is not the length of prayer, but it's the heart connected to that and the intention and the faith. The care and the love that they prayed for us with. You know, as soon as they left and the enemy attacked, because after the prayer, they had an altercation. You know, when husband and wife, somehow things got a little bit sour. Actually only thinking about this now. And by the time they left, it was a little bit sour, but they worked it out and so forth. Okay, eventually they were fine. However, after they left, I went to my cupboard where I kept the medication. I still had a month and a half supply left. They used to give me 3 months prescription. I had taken a month and a half already. I went to that cupboard and I took out all that medication. I threw it into the bin. Oh, I felt like that is not enough. I said, these pills are still in the house. I took them from the house. I went and threw them in the bin outside. And I said, I don't want a trace of this in the home. That was a step of faith because I had to go and see as my psychiatrist or a psychiatrist. She's not mine, okay? A psychiatrist was it every month? Yeah, I think every whatever, okay, the interval, I think every 2 months or something like that. And she would ask me, how am I sleeping? How's the medication? And then at some point she needs to increase the dosage. At some point she needs to reduce the dosage. Sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes I sleep more. Sometimes I can't eat. There was no time where I was eating more. And as a result, I lost a lot of weight because I could only stomach one slice. Can you imagine? Only one slice. I went from eating, let me not say how many slices, a lot of slices to one slice, okay? And I lost weight. I was numb. I couldn't feel emotions. I couldn't cry. I couldn't even be excited. I was just existing, almost like a log. I was just there and almost like a robot. I know I have to wake up, go to work, come back, cook for my daughter, and go about life numb. After that day, the following day was a Monday. I used to have breakfast and then take the medication. That day I had breakfast. I went to my cupboard and I took water and only, if I remember correctly. And I prayed for that water. And I said, I am taking, where's my water? Let me demonstrate. I took my water and I said, I am taking a dosage of the blood of Jesus. And I did this. I drank day 1, day 2, day 3. By the time 2 weeks hit, I experienced withdrawal symptoms like never before. I remember waking up and walking like a zombie, going to the clinic at my workplace. I was still working in the military by then. I went to the clinic. We refer to it as the sick bay. I'm telling you, oh, thank God I was living close to the clinic. What I wanted was to get there and they give me sick leave so that I can come back and deal with this thing. And I came back, I said, Lord, I'm holding on to you. You need to overcome for me. I can't be on medication my whole life because I think I was on medication for a year by that time. And I can see, oh, by the way, the Holy Spirit was a part of it. He is the one who actually convicted me first before my sister came. He asked me, actually, he said, what I am doing with the pills. Ooh, guys, he gave me an analogy. He said, what these pills are doing, it's like taking a clean white sheet, SHEET, taking a clean white sheet and covering a heap of SHIT. Okay. He said it's like covering that. You are not really dealing with the root of the problem. The pills are covering, and you are just piling up on top of that. And things around you can see or smell the stench of what you keep covering. You are covering, the waste of a human being. Yeah, that's what he made an example, that there are things that need to be dealt with from the inside. And the pills are covering that. Meaning that you just keep layering and layering and layering. Next thing you know, you have a heap like this of sheets from here to here, and what's underneath has not been dealt with, so you are heavy laden by this covering, and you still have to deal with that. So meaning that when you smell something like that, are you going to remain in the vicinity? No. So it means that opportunities were leaving me, people were leaving me, things were not going all right, because there was clearly something that was not I was not okay. And he was basically highlighting that, Precious, we need to deal with the things that are bothering you. We need to deal with these broken pieces. They need to be mended so that you can go through life the way that you are supposed to. These things, don't run away from them. Don't cover it up. It's me and you now. I'm here for you. You are no longer alone. You don't have to go through these things by yourself. You have the word, and I will provide a support system for you. And my sister and my brother were the support system I needed at that time. At every point in my life, I have never lacked anything that I needed, including love and support and whatever, even though it didn't come in a way that I thought it should. For some people, they have their families supporting them in that way. For me, it wasn't the case, but God made sure I lack nothing. Whoever it is that he used. Sometimes the people will be there for a season. Sometimes literally it will be a touch and go. I realized later that this person was sent by the Lord for that particular moment, for that particular reason. So that taught me to rely on God for everything, including relationships and support that I will need at any given time. And I pray that you would also experience the same thing, that in as much as you have a need that needs to be met, an emotional need, a physical need, a family need, support that you need, whatever need that you have, don't get so caught up in looking at the source that the need is coming from. The need meter is God, and he determines who he's going to use to come and meet our needs. We don't determine. He is the one who chooses who does that. And if for you that person, those people have been your family, those people have been your neighbors, those people have been, it's okay. What I am against is when people come and begin to judge. There are people who will say they don't like people who didn't grow up in good families. Someone will say, hey, I'm looking for someone who comes from a good family. Or when they realize that you come from a good family that instilled good values, they make a big deal out of it, of which they should, because that's God's way and God's design of things. My problem is when they shun people who did. Listen, there are things that we choose in life and there are things that we do not choose. And one of the things I will always highlight is that we don't choose the families we get born into. And you work with what God has given you. There is a reason why that has been your portion. Okay, there's a reason why that has been your portion. What you need to do though is, in as much as there are certain things that are beyond your control, what is within your control is your own life and the lives that come after you. You just need to make sure that you align things, you pray and have the next generations in mind, because sometimes it can be difficult to have the previous generations in mind. They have done their time. Some of them are not even here, but we are living in the fruit of their actions. So we need to have generations in mind so that the next generations can live in the fruit of our efforts, the fruit of our actions, and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I can see that this life has gone on now for this long. I'm tempted to carry on, but I'm going to be mindful and perhaps try and wrap it up from here. Okay. I see that I diverted from that. There's something on my glasses. Okay. But yeah, that's basically what God desires for us, a healed life. You don't have to limp through life. I was still on that I realized that I was limping through life, and the Lord checked me, checked my heart, checked me into a hospital, okay? They call it Potter's Hospital, Potter's House, Holy Spirit Hospital. think that rhymes. Holy Spirit Hospital, Potter's House. You get checked in, and your soul experiences the surgery of the Lord. Do you know anybody who can perform a surgery of the soul? Oh my God. Oh, okay. Seems like I'm back. Oh, no, 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 Lord, please. We need to conclude this life on a good note. I was saying that, I hope I didn't lose my point. I was talking about seeking soul healing outside the one who created the soul. It's not possible. There are so many hospitals that can do so many things and perform so many surgeries. Some of them specialize with the heart, some of them specialize with the brain, some are just for cancer. But the soul, the soul, the soul. Where do you check in a broken heart? How do you deal with a broken spirit? Okay. The solution, you want to know the solution, you want to know what worked for me. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, this this is what I'm gonna close with. For everything that you want to do in your life, including the new season that you are stepping into right now before the year ends, including the success that you want to see this year, I'm going to put in the description again for you the link to the blueprint to success. It's in my page. It's on my page. You can have a look at that if you didn't catch that devotion of that I did earlier today. So allow God to get into those inner chambers of your heart and deal with those broken pieces. We are doing away with shame. We are doing away with guilt. It's not going to help us. Those things are not going into the new season. We are doing away with regret. We are not going to cry for time that is lost. We are going to appreciate the time that we have now and move on. Thanking God. Another key thing is to keep on thanking God. Keep on thanking God even if you are not where you think you should be, even if you are not where you want to be. Just keep on thanking God that He has kept you. Even if there are things that you are dealing with, even if there are things that are threatening your life, even if it is indeed life-threatening, keep on thanking God. Keep on thanking God. Keep on thanking God. I think I'm closing on that note. Let's keep on thanking God. I believe tomorrow is Thanksgiving. To those who are in America, they are so big on that. If I'm correct, I hope I have my facts right. Anyway, this is Thanksgiving season where you just want to go to God and thank Him. It's Thanksgiving season every day. Every season is Thanksgiving season. There will never be a time where we have no reason to give thanks to our God. We give thanks to the things we overlook, like oxygen. We saw with COVID that oxygen is so valuable. So we don't overlook anything and we don't take anything for granted. Go and give thanks to God throughout the day. Just be giving thanks to God for everything, for oxygen. Give thanks to God for your complexion, for everything, especially these things that we overlook and we think they have no value. Give thanks to God for the dysfunction that you grew up in. There is a purpose in that. Give thanks to God for the things that He said no to. Give thanks to God for people who rejected you. You know the things that you don't think you can thank God for? Give thanks to God and you will see that He will show you, you will begin to experience a change of perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. If you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Share this video. Go to not YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. Check us out there, whatever platform is your favorite, because the content there is different from this one somehow. But thank you so much. This is the main one, okay? This is the main page of God and Broken Pieces. And every day you come on here, there will be something new for you to digest, for you to eat, for you to watch, for you to hang out. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a blast. I really enjoyed being here. I hope you also did. God bless you and yours and everything that concerns you. My prayer is that you will check your broken pieces to the potter's house and God will mend the broken pieces in your life so that you don't go through life limping and so that you don't go through life the way that He didn't plan for you to. Okay? And yeah, be blessed. See you tomorrow.